Top of the morning to you. Hey, I'm Michael. As the grandkids call me Roo. Thanks for being on Roodoodles Live. 8:57 Monday morning. It's a spring day. It's gorgeous. Thunder woke me up in the middle of the night, and thunder rolls. Rain beating against the window pane, and woke up this morning, and I'm telling you, whoa, Dan's got people working outside. And so it's amazing. The sun has appeared, and it's a gorgeous spring day. The leaves were like, okay, we're spreading out. So it's beautiful here in the southeast, Charlotte, North Carolina, wherever you are. I want to say hi to you. Thanks for being on the show. It's day 260 something, 261, 2 or 3, who knows? But I think it's 2. I'm not going to claim it, but what's a day among painting friends, right? Come on. If you haven't just piddle the day away painting something or sketching over and over and over, well, maybe you're not thinking like an artist. So I had an early morning email that should have gone in some of your boxes. If you're subscribed to Roodoodles, you can subscribe by going to my website and hit that there. But it basically just announces the class that's coming up. It's called Roodoodles Basics. And for so many emails and also some mentions on the show and mentions in my Facebook page, I've got a lot of people saying, hey, would you go back and just do some basics? So for 5 weeks, I'm going to go back and I'm going to start again with something real simple. 3 brushes, 3 paints, 3 subjects, 3 pens, and those will change around, but just doing things simply, explaining paper one more time. If you've been traveling along on this journey for a long time with Roodoodles, and you're going like, I got to do this. I think I can do this. I should do this. Look, you don't know what a treat it is if you haven't experienced sitting down with grandkids or friends or anyone actually, and just sliding a piece of paper across the table and say, draw me something. And when you have the ability to just sketch them something and paint a little something fun, the conversation, it's the second best thing other than just coming to the table and having a meal. And I hope you had a great meal on Mother's Day. We went to our favorite restaurant yesterday. Let me just say my favorite restaurant. And I don't believe you could go to lunch there if you lived in Oklahoma. Even if you started driving a day before, it'd be tough to get to my house. But that's my favorite restaurant. Man, Yaya, Crayola, Carol cranked it out, invited all the kids over, all except the ones who were too far away to make it in. And we'll catch them later this spring. They came in and just devoured this unbelievable feast. A Dutch baby pancake in cast iron, quiche, a Mediterranean quiche, as well as a tomato pie, poached eggs with hollandaise sauce, bacon, grits, cheese grits, and then for dessert, she did we went to the market on Saturday when I finished my show. We went and got fresh strawberries. We usually go pick at this farm near us. And we went, for that much money, and yeah, let's just buy a gallon of strawberries. And we did. And so we divvied those up and sent them home with some of the kids. But she made fresh strawberry cake that's outrageous. So I did, yeah. I've been juicing for 7 days. That was my 7th day. I'm back on the juice this morning, but and it's green juice. It's carrots and apples and ginger and celery and cucumbers, and it all goes in a slow juicer, and that'll be my brunch when the show's over. And I do that, then have a little protein at night. But yesterday at 1:45 brunch, I went, okay, going to start off with some grits here, which is not even, I've been cutting out sugar and bread. So I'm not opposed. This is my own, this is not a doctor thing. This is my thing, just to kind of clean out the system and let's go. Okay, here we go. So I'm doing it. And anyway, thanks for being on the show this morning. Oh my gosh, you guys are piling in, and I'm over here jabbering away. Let's see if I can say hello to some of you. Barbara Mayer, top of the morning to you. Kathy Morrow, Michael Ashburn, thank you for being on the show, my friend. Randall Taylor Craven, good morning. Virginia Man from Alabama. Donna Sell Barton, thank you for being on the show. Donna, I hope you're still doing Rube Goldberg. She is a mechanical drawing wizard. Someday here, somebody's going to discover your art someday and write some children's stories around it, and it's going to be fabulous. I like what you do. Bert Crone, all the way from Greenville, South Carolina. Bert, look at that. Your photo is a Roo standing on with one foot up on a washtub playing a banjo. I love it. Thank you very much. I just love it when that happens. Let me put something right here. And let's see, Bob Hendrick from the Head Over Hills, cornfields of Iowa. To keep you from getting head over heels, there's a rule that we used to tell camp kids when they were coming down the gravel slides out in Colorado. We would run to the top of this mountain. Well, we wouldn't run. We'd hike up. And then in less than 2 minutes, you would come down this incredible steep. The rule was keep your nose behind your toes. And that'll keep you from going head over heels. But I love it when you go head over heels. Skeeter Powell, good morning to you from Greenville. Irma, thank you so much for being such a gift giver. I know you don't have to. I know you want to. You've explained that to me. Thank you. Karen Bender, morning. Good to be with you too. Glenda Small, thanks for being on the show. Rise and shine, she says. Well, of course. It's just like a good biscuit. Rise and shine. Beverly Schmidt, good morning from cloudy Greenville. That's 3 people right there in the front row from Greenville. Annette Henslin, thank you for being on the show this morning. Brenda Schleitning, thank you for being here. Fern Skelly, thank you. Bev Sobolewski, Lori Stanley, Handelmeyer Henderson, Carol Tard Mundy, Kelly Berger, Melanie Wilkes from Shellman Bluff, Georgia. I've been in Georgia many times, been around all the islands, some of the islands. Don't know about Shellman Bluff. Got to see it someday. Alice Durham, Kathleen Johnson, Brenda Wilcox, Sue Pellet, is it Pezzolo? If your kids are watching, they're going like, apparently this guy doesn't know how to read our names. No, he doesn't. Pat Normandale. Phil Willibarger, saw that you got, he's going to hang out a little while till breakfast gets ready, he said. Okay then, man, go off and eat something good. Patricia Deaton, Dorothy Beasley, Deborah Springer, goodness gracious, thanks for piling on. Is there an in that post? I don't know what that means, but good morning from California. Terry Tardy from Oregon, thanks for being on the show. Susie DeLay, Mary Lou Mahaffey, thanks for being on from Dayton, Ohio. It's McKady who's waiting in Dayton, Ohio. I think that was the end of a song that I wrote on a literary analysis that I had to write for school one time on a book that I didn't read by Naval Chute. Man, my brain is just wired funny, okay? Julie Madden Walden, morning, Roosters. Denise Albright, June Jones. Okay, hey, thank you for saying, and there's Sabine Rajamir coming in from over in Germany. Donna Buckley, Sue Kane from Australia, Jack Wolfenbarger. Thanks, buddy, for being on the show. Chris Whitaker, or Whitaker, as I like to say. Barbara Wilkinson, up in Ontario, but it's still freezing. I'm still holding some paintings that I can't get to her because this is a story like the one we had with Jenny Butts when I sent her the painting about a year ago and it didn't get to her at Mother's Day. Remember this story? And they lost it. The post office delivered it at the wrong house. And so I finally tracked it down. The postman said, oh my gosh, we made a mistake. And I said, well, go to that house and get the painting and take it over to Jenny's house. It's just the same number, wrong street. She said, well, they don't want to let go of it. And I said, well, it's not theirs, and it's customized to Jenny. It's Happy Mother's Day to Jenny. And it was a gift. And, well, she bought the first one. I wound up giving her the second one. Anyway, long story. Some of you may remember this story. It was crazy. Some of you actually wrote notes and cards to the post office. Julie at the post office got a painting from me. Jenny got another painting from me. They finally found the original. The people gave it up. I even painted them one and sent it to their house, too. It was a funny story. You just can't make stuff like that up. And then what happened was a new person on the route got it, delivered it, and didn't see Jenny, folded it. and put it in her mailbox. So after all that, ruined the original painting anyway. So I don't love that she ruined the original painting, but it was pretty funny when stuff like that happened. So I went to the post office. I tried to do this online to get Beverly, her or Barbara Wilkinson, her paintings, and it wouldn't let me on my online postage because I've been trying to do that more than just go stand in this long line of people who are all masked up at the post office and mail things. So it just takes hours. It's crazy. And I'm thinking, they could, if Chick-fil-A ran the post office, people would just be going around the building like this and dropping stuff off and going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. But people are standing out in the parking lot and they're holding bags. It's like, really? So I've been doing online postage. You can see labels, but I couldn't get my program to convert into Canadian funds and bill me. And I'm saying, okay, I'll pay more. It still wouldn't let me. I changed the weights. I did everything. I went to 2 different post offices and they said, oh, all of our international forms are out right now. You'll have to come back the first of the week. I'm going like, what's going on? So I'll get it there. Okay. Thanks for your patience. Jeanette Seal, thanks for being on the show. Ricky Govers, would you send me a note, please, at roodoodles@gmail.com? Would you send me a note, Ricky, if you're listening to this? You mailed something to me, and I want to know more about it, okay? I'm going to switch the desk over here to this shot right here. Take a look. You sent me this packet that has a little watercolor print on the front, and it says, Ricky, mailed from the Netherlands. Great Scott. It was on my front porch. And inside this is this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful handmade paper. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And some of it is, look at it. And it all has these incredible names on it, like blue jeans and flaxseed and elephant grass. And I want to know, or elephant paper and grass and tobacco paper. Would you please send me a little info on this? I would love to be able to read it, Ricky, but I can't read the language. So there. It all looks like the word Grassenvichen, or grasshopper, which made me think of grasshoppers this morning. So you're responsible for this morning's painting. Gonstaffen, Gussenpattern, yeah, and so I assume it's, I don't know. Is it Dutch? I assume it's Dutch, and I don't read the Stu machine water, and I can see that it's made with linen and done by hand, but I want to know more in English. Can you do that for me? That would be awesome. Roodoodles@gmail.com. This packaging and just the gift, thank you. And I want to paint something on it, and I want to give one piece to my daughter and let her paint some florals on it because it's just gorgeous paper. Thank you so much. So, all right, let me hit a little music here this morning, and let's get busy. And I'll say hello to some folks later. I've been in this crazy Vivaldi mode, and it's really nice music to listen to. But it's also, this is royalty free, so I don't have to worry about Facebook picking it up and going like, oh, we're going to shut your show down because you've stolen music. I'm going like, it's hard to steal music from the 1680s, isn't it? But I have some old recordings here, which should be safe from the 70s, 1970s. So Donna Buckley, Cecil, Cecile Buttrick Mordock, thanks for being on the show. Donna Hamilton, Mary Hartman, hi from PA. And I got to say something, right? Mary Hartman. If your name is really Mary Hartman and you're my age, you remember Mary Hartman. That'd be a hoot to live through all your life. Ruth Ann Godey, thank you. Raylene Cumberson, golly, thank you guys for being on the show. I just love it so much. And I appreciate you sharing my show. And look at this, what I found. I got to show you something. Thank you for all the emails and the comments. And I've got people who've been saying, look, not that I'm wealthy and that I want to buy 1,000 paintings, but are you ever going to have an auction again? and just laugh and make popcorn and have fun and have a glass of wine. Yes, I'm going to. And look, I cleaned out my office on Friday. I literally, the last group came from the art bar downstairs because Carol said, this place looks like Fred Sanford moved in here. And so my art bar, which I've come to this desk to paint. So I went through this one. It's not in the auction, by the way. It's showtime. That goes up on my wall right here. I hang that one up there. That's for me. And so, but here's some paintings that I've done. Take a look. Look at this. All these are originals, and they're just a little bit of everything in here. I mean, there's a little something that I was doing. Here's easy as pie. There's a little wren that's in there. There's some fishing flies in here. There's a Christmas piece in here. There's two birds. Here's some cartoon pieces that aren't even, or coloring book pieces that aren't even painted yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with those. There's another Roo and a banjo. This is a Grit magazine original. This was removing stumps on the back lot. And there is the hard hat, and they all have earphones on. Anyway, so yes, I'm going to pick a date real soon, probably sometime in late May. And let's do a little auction again because it was so fun. And here's the thing. I'll let these go for, there's one of my daughter's birds in here and some stickers. I'll throw those into a pack to wrap. There's a bee. There's a Hoover's cover for a coloring book. Oh my gosh. There's a bunch of notes too. I will take those out. I won't force you those. Okay, there's one I can't sell. There's one that's there's the roosters making a grub machine. So I got all. Oh, there's a little bluebird. Here's a bluebird. Got a little bluebird in there. There's another bluebird. Here's the mailbox painting, which I love. This mailbox. We're here. Here's fishing fly. I got some more fishing flies. Shoot, I got another stack of fishing flies. Ooh, look at that. That's a blue dun right there. There's a cardinal. All right, so all these, I'm going to throw them in a stack here, and we'll make there's a little bluebird that says happy birthday. All right, cool. All right. So I'm going to make these up here. So if you'd like to be a part of an auction, you can, I'll keep you posted on it. And it's just fun to throw these out there. And here's what happens. You get an original painting, and you get, I eventually get them mailed to you. Holy smokes, it takes a while to do that. And I'm sorry, but it just does. I note them, and then I compare your email address, and it's not the same name that you sign on with. And so it takes me a while to do that. But I will do I'll set a date in the future so we all know it's coming. And you can get your popcorn ready, and we'll have a little fun auction here, put some fun music on, and create some sounds, which we do when we have the auction. The bidding sound. Usually there's sometimes a little tone that we can do that makes me laugh when we do that. I don't see it right here. Where is it? Let's see if it happens here. Oh yeah, we do this when the auction starts. And then of course, when there's 30 seconds to go, we hear the glockenspiel, and then someone wins the auction. And I didn't even create those sounds myself. I got that applause from the Golf Channel. Not really. It's built into the. Okay, so I'll be doing that, and we'll have another auction. It's great for gifts if you want to put them in kids' rooms or give away. And where else you can get an original piece of art for a pretty decent rate. I want to show you a couple more things. One is there's another little bluebird. I'll throw him in the mix. It says, Mom, Mom, Mom. There's the painting for Mother's Day. You know what? I'll give that painting away today. And here's the two paintings that I did on Saturday morning. One of these, I think, is going to the coffee shop. I don't know. I may post them. One says, 5 minutes. I need five more. And there's a rooster sitting next to his coffee cup. And then here's the one skiing. What I want you to see is sometimes after these sit and dry, I painted these Saturday morning, then you go back and you might put in a little pin detail. And you work with it. You massage it. You look at it. And you go, well, I wish I'd have left a little bit of white in that bill. Let me show you a trick right here. Watch this. I wish I'd have put a little white in there. And you say, well, you can paint a little white over it. Painting white over watercolor doesn't work real well. That's why you don't use a lot of white paint in watercolor. You let the paper be the white. Those are called holidays. Noodle, doodle, fiddle, piddle. Okay, holidays are great for people, but they're fabulous for art. They give it life and they give it space. So, all right. So take a look at this right here. A pocket knife. And a pen and the painting. Okay, so I'm going to move in right here, and I'm going to do this so I think you can see it. And I want a little bit of a white space right here, so I'm just going to scratch some of the paint out. And he's going like, "You are not." Oh yeah, I am. Look. Just scratching some of the pigment off, and leaving a little bit of the white underneath. And if it's too much, I'll just go get a little of this gamboge right here, and let that just drop back in a couple of those white areas, and it'll highlight them just a little more. I erased with a pocket knife. X-Acto knife works really great. A little piece of sandpaper works great. Look, and I love it. I like it better. It got too dark. I used too much pen in there, and then so I backed it off, and now I'm much more happy with it. Okay, could do the same thing with the eye if I wanted to. Not hit both eyes, but I could do the eye of the duck if I wanted a little more eye to shine right in there. I could just go in and just dig it a little hole a little bit. Look at that. It's fantastic. Then maybe come in with a little pen and highlight it. Highlight the eye. Okay, so little tricks of the trade. But the show is going to be Roo Basics, and you can sign up at my website, Roo Basics, roodoodles.com. It'll take you to a page. It's going to start on Wednesday, May the 19th. And it's going to be 8:57 in the mornings. And all right, so I'm going to throw these. Nope, I'm going to post these, I think, and throw this little bluebird in the auction pile. And let me paint something for you this morning. Thanks for being on the show. Because I was trying to read from Ricky Govar's at Into. I was trying to at Into. I love that. And Ricky, if you could send me a note, I would just love it. Yes, Dutch will do, she says. And so I don't know what it is exactly. So instead of butchering your language, I saw 3 words that reminded me of grasshopper. And so I thought I'd just sketch grasshopper this morning, just for fun. And it's not Pig Latin, Ash. You're not even close, my friend. Go draw a woodpecker. He's feeding woodpeckers at his house. Annette Henson says, warning, you can get caught up in the bidding process, entertaining, but can get a bit expensive. Well, of course, and that only helps out. Dawn says, auction time. And so some of you are jumping on saying it sure was fun. Love the fishing flies. All those are going to be in the auction. And so perfect. Thank you for being a part of the show this morning. Let me show you what I started sketching. Look, I did a grasshopper. See him right here? So I love this little drawing paper because I can just carry it around with me wherever. So I was trying to read the Dutch-ish language on the back of that, and I saw 3 words. It was like there's a lot of G's involved, and so it was like gerspult and grassen and so I went, there's a grasshopper language. And so I'm not making fun of your language. I just grew up in East Tennessee, so you know me better than to make fun. And so, but I use this little pad to just doodle birds on. Like there's a shrimp, and I also give these little paintings away to restaurants. And when I'm sitting at the bar, there's the bar, as in the bar of a restaurant. If I were a whiskey painter, I'd be sitting at the bar. But there's a little, and this, look at the face on this little birdie here. Okay, can you see his little face? He's got this eye that's like he's like this. And so the only caption that came to mind was, dang blue jays. Because, you know, blue jays can be pests. They can be the bullies of the seed yard. And so there's a little wren that I'm working on right now, and I really like him. I'm going to paint him this morning, but I started a grasshopper somewhere. There's one. And then that gave me the idea for a painting. So let me see if I can do the painting. I had to sketch of grasshopper first. What a great little painting this would be for a kid's room or something like that. So if you're not doing bugs, and we're going to do things small. When I say 3 things, choose 3 things that you want to paint. You want to paint a rooster? Fine. You want to paint a dog? Fine. You want to paint a toad, a frog, a toad frog. Then figure out what it is you want to paint. If you want to paint a fly, a fishing fly, if you want to paint a little thing for your, there's another grasshopper I started, and I started him on a canvas. So it's been 8:20 and I hadn't even put the paint to the paper. Let's get busy. Let me just use, here, I'll just use this little brush right here. This is 80-pound paper. I don't recommend learning to paint watercolor on this, but I recommend loving to sketch on it and just getting better. Don't learn to sketch on your good water paper. Learn to sketch on thinner paper, but decent paper. Get a journal. Get something that's got a little bit of weight to it. Maybe like a mixed media pad like this, or even a one less expensive than that one. I don't see mine up here. Oh, it's over on the other desk. But it's like 90 pound or something above 60 pounds. If you get above 80 to 100 and something pound paper, you can also approach it with a little practice watercolor brush. And that's what this is. It's 80-pound paper, and it does pretty well. So what I do here is come in and just let my water happen first. And we'll do this in our class if you want to take the class. And there'll be sign-ups for the next. Look at this. This pen is bleeding some. That's okay. I want some of this grasshopper to be, I want him to be a little bit dark and rusty yellow. I want him to look like he's been out in the field for a while. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow right here, and I'm going to just drop it right in my green box right there. Just right in there. And I'm just going to throw some green right in there, just a little bit, and then a little darker green right in here behind his head. And come back and just grab this a little bit. Look at that. How fast is it to paint something like this? And then a little darker underneath, okay? Wash that brush out, go in and get a little bit of black, and just touch his legs a little bit with black, because I'm going to come back. Grasshopper's legs aren't like some other bugs under the underbelly. His legs tend to have a little bit more color in them. So does his underbelly, okay? Something about painting grasshoppers to classical music is one of the things that makes me laugh. And then I'm going to get a little bit of, sometimes their eyes are got a little bit of rusty, just a touch of autumn in there. There it is right there. Whoa, that's a good looking grasshopper. Okay. A little purple underneath in this green grass here, just shadowing him some. Just hitting his legs with that wet brush too, and letting him sort of seep into his background. You see what I did there? It's okay if sometimes you take so much time to sort of go around the little legs. I just paint right over them, especially if I've given them a chance to dry a little bit. And it's okay if the water pushes that pen line and it bleeds out a little bit. Look how awesome that is, okay? Now, so the point is I might, okay, right now I'm doing 100 bluebirds, I'm doing 100 wrens, and I'm not going to do 100 grasshoppers, but I might do 25 of them. And I put grasshoppers in my paintings. Why would I ever paint grasshoppers? Well, because roosters and grasshoppers, okay, they both have a folklore history, but chickens love grasshoppers, and they chase them, and it's really funny if you've not seen them do that. And it's and so I put them together lots of times, and I think kids like bugs, and so I like to do paintings, and I'm a kid at heart. Okay, so there's a little bit of a line underneath. You come back here, so so now you got this little bug, and so he needs a caption. Uh-oh, my pen's got some gradu on it. Here we go. Know what really bugs me? Roof. Okay. All right. So there's a little painting. Now, what I'll use is it. And so let me show you another one. I don't paint on canvas very often. In fact, this is not very expensive canvas. I was buying an eraser at a big box store. Or, just a craft store, art store. I think Michael's Michael's is what it was. And so what happens is I saw these little, there were like 4 or 5 of these, maybe 4 of these, I think, in a little pack. And it was like $4 and 20% off. And I went, good grief, that's $1 canvas. I'm going to buy that. So I bought it. And so I scratched onto it with a pen. And I'm going to, and here I am still writing on it with the pen. And I don't know if it'll work well or not. I've painted on a couple of these before, but I don't do it often. And so I think I'm just going to use some of those same colors now that I've seen it on this page, which is kind of beige. I'm going to use the same colors here on this and just see if I can go in. But look what's happening with that ink. It's getting very dark in there. See that? Okay, so I'm going to just go in and get a little bit of this underbelly color here, and I'm going to use it just straight on gamboge. And now what's happening is that watercolor is not going to click in that canvas too much. But if I let it dry some, I promise you it will come back, and it's going to click right in and just be perfect. See how it's just, it's kind of waxed over. I can change that by just rubbing it a little bit and making a mess out of it. All right, let's let that dry, and then I'll come back in just a second. I want his legs to be a little of this straw colored again. I think you can see what I'm doing here. It's kind of small, but I'm just giving you an idea of when I want to go into a grasshopper, here's what we're going to do. I experiment. I use scrap paper. I use a piece of canvas that costs me nothing, basically, and I'll go back, and then I might get a piece of watercolor paper, and I might do the whole thing one more time. Just a piece of 140, not 100% cotton, but just regular 140, something like a... this one's ripped out, but I think it's like a fluid, not even fluid 100, just a fluid paper. And then what I might do then is I might do another painting on this that has grasshoppers in it. So here we go. Grasshoppers. Get an idea. That's probably too big. Yeah, that's probably too big. Let's go a little smaller there. All right. Good thing I sketched with a pencil because I'm just making up something here. I'm drawing. Let's see here. Oh, that's probably perfect right there. Okay, I just drew a ball. I just drew a little ball. You can see it sketched lightly, sketched like you're on thin ice. And now, and maybe I might spread this out just a little bit. We'll see. So if you're drawing a grasshopper, let me show you something. Let me get that out of the way. Look, if you're drawing a grasshopper, why would I teach you to draw a grasshopper? Well, you got grandkids, you got family coming over, you got some little kid you want to send a note to today. Say, you know what bugs me? Nothing. Eat your breakfast. The grasshopper's head is kind of a pear upside down. See, here's what I do to sketch. I look at things and I go, oh, that's so awkward to draw. Then I go, no, it's not. If I turn that upside down, it's just a pear upside down. See, look, I want to show you something. Look at this right here. How did my name do in that wet paint? Not too well, did it? I'll have to re-sign that. Look at this. Look at his head right here. Okay? If I turn it upside down like this, look, there's a pear right there. See the pear? All right. You went, oh, you got to be kidding me. So if I just draw this, I'm listening to an opera singer here this morning. If I draw that, I've just drawn the grasshopper's head. You go, no way. Yep, see right there? There's his head right there. And then I come in and I draw his saddle here, comes up here, goes into there. Then some body down here. He's got a leg that comes out like this, and it comes out, then it sticks up. He's got another leg that comes out here. He's got a, guess what his eye is shaped like? An egg. An egg. Okay, there's his egg. And then there's his feelers. Antennae, I guess you would call them. And then he's got some more little segments of body in here and a little bit of space. Here's where his wings start to come out. And then right here, he's going to have a big old shoulder. And it's going to go up. And guess what this part is shaped like? Look at that. A ball bat or a chicken leg. You go, come on. Okay, and then this is going to come down like this. And this is going to go out and then back up here like this. And then he's got one of those on the other side, which would be fun if you drew it so you could see it. So draw it there, comes down. Whoops, not going to cross that plane. And then you got to let this go out here like this. And this is going to be his tail feathers. He's a grasshopper, but this is going to be his wings. Same principle. Then you got these little sections that are under a grasshopper like so. And then it's got this, and he might have another leg coming out there. And then suddenly you have this grasshopper. Bingo. Oh my gosh. You see it now? How simple was that? See, break it down into pieces that you recognize. Break it down into things that you know. You go like, there's a pear, there's an egg, there's a drumstick. And you go like, I can't believe this grown man is talking like this. But you can sketch like this. See, what we do sometimes is we look at the whole thing and we go, oh my gosh, how am I going to draw that camera? Well, I have to draw this piece over here, and then all this is connected. No, I just said, well, there's a circle in front. That's the lens. There's the lens. And then there's a circle inside a circle. And then there's this headpiece that comes up like this. What's that look like? Well, that looks like a pot turned upside down, a flower pot. So I got a face in a flower pot. See what I do? I just flip the thing all the way around like this. And then over here on this side, I've got another little button that comes up. And then I got a shoulder piece that comes down. And then I have this piece that comes in like this. That looks like part of a key ring to me. Or there's another egg right there. There's a whole other egg. And then it's coming down. And there's a handle right here that's got some gripping on it. And a shadow. And before long, I've got these I got this hot shoe up here, and I have my camera on a tripod. Oh my gosh. So without me even worrying about the object, I just break it down into pieces. And up here there's a little dial, and over here is a little lever, and up here is a little logo piece. There's a little tab here that sticks out. And then underneath there's a little gate and a door. It's got shadowing right in there. This is all dark right in here. You got glass here. You got a little bit of a shimmer on the glass. Can anybody not see that that is a pretty cool sketch camera? If I'm out and about and I want to tell folks that I'm taking pictures and I want to do it journal form and I want to do it on a tripod, I've just finished it in my journal. How simple is that? Okay. So get back to the basics every now and then. All right. So let me get back to this drawing. What was I going to do? I was going to draw a grasshopper because Ricky got me into grasshoppers this morning. I want to eat a pear now, somebody said. Any chance you could create using a tea bag? Karen Bender, what do you mean create? You mean have I ever painted with tea? Yes. I draw a pear to draw oak leaves. See there? Look at you guys. You guys are doing this all. Is that canvas treated? No. Becky, the canvas is not treated for watercolor. So that's why I'm just letting it sit there and dry out a little bit. So let me show you what I'm going to do. If I flatten the canvas with my finger like this, but I don't recommend this for big canvases. I just play a lot. That's how I discover these things. All right, so here we go. So I need a pear right here. I need a pear right there. There's a pear there. I think I'll put a pear right here. Are you kidding me? What is he doing? Okay, so then we need a shoulder here and a saddle. And then now I'm going to have to lay this leg down a little bit because these grasshoppers got a leg right in here. And then maybe there's a tail coming out here. Maybe there's a pear coming down this way. There it is right there. This music is awesome. All right, that's a lot of heavy sketching, but I'm going to show you just what I did here real quickly so you can keep up with what I'm doing. I'm going to use a pen that doesn't bleed very much. That's going to be the Pentel 05. I've been sketching with this Extreme pen. By the way, I love this pen. I have fallen in love with the Gel Extreme 05 from Yasutoma. You know, I get a disclaimer. They sent me a dozen of these pens. I've given away several of them. In fact, I found out yesterday that one has not shown up in its place of mailing. So I'm going to remail another one. And the other night, my wife was buying, if you saw the video I did from the art gallery, she said, hey, I can use your credit card. I'm going like, well, great. I'm not shooting a video or anything. And so it was pretty funny. And so I said, okay, I'll be passing by. So I gave it to her. And Ann came by, our Neil friend, to sign. Carol, my wife, Carol, bought two of Ann's books. It's a beautiful book. It's Ann, some of Ann's devotions. It's called Angels, Ann Nielsen, at Ann Nielsen Fine Art. And she said, and so Carol hands her a pen, and I just taken it out of my coat pocket. And I said, and she signs the book, and she turns around, she goes, what kind of pen is this? I love it. And I said, say thank you to the folks at Yasutoma. It's yours. And she goes, I can keep this pen? So she signed with it, but it really is smooth. It's got a tiny, tiny ball. It's 05. And it really rolls. And I wasn't going to use it here after giving you that big sale because it bleeds brilliantly. But I don't want a lot of bleeding in this. I want a little more stability just from what I'm getting to here. So why would I paint all of these roosters like this, or grasshoppers like this? Well, one, because Ricky Gover's got me into grasshoppers this morning. You know, crazy how one thing affects your system and you go, okay, that was crazy. Now I got to go do this something on grasshoppers. And so it was all because I couldn't read in another language and I wanted to make sense of what she sent me. Just brilliant stuff. This paper. Maybe. Ricky may be. a gentleman. So there we go. So there's what's that look like to you? Probably nothing from where you're sitting, but I can take a little bit of this eraser now. That's the other reason I use that pen. The pen tail doesn't bleed as much or smear as much with my eraser. We'll come in and I'm going to get some of those colors. Now that I know what I wanted my grasshoppers to look like, I'm going to come in and just go in here with a little bit of this like this. And I'm just going to touch some of those grasshoppers, and then I'm going to get a little bit of this yellow and this I'll come in with a little bit of detail here, and I'm just going to let my pen, here's how we'll use this pen, let my pen be the legs of just the little warts and foibles. There's a good word for you. The warts and foibles all hanging out, and I'm going to put some of my, let me get a little bitty brush here too. Let me just get a small little brush to go in. And I've got a number 3. See if I got something smaller than a 3 up here. Oh, what's this right here? Oh, a 2. Well, that's smaller. I caught it. Get a little 2. Go in here and get some of this light brown. Drop it in there just for a little brown and dirt in here. Now, just so you know, this is a grasshopper ball. So if somebody was looking at this, I'm going to just put one here that's spinning out. Okay, so I'm put his little pear shape here. He's coming unglued like this. His legs spinning loose. And maybe a half of a body over here where the legs come out like this. And then maybe there's a saddle with a head right here and 2 antennae. So now you see I've broken the plane. So I've made it so that it doesn't look like a wart apple, or what do you call those things that, I don't know, there used to be an apple. What do you call those apples? And somebody's going to tell me in a minute, that we used to find in the hedgerows. Hedge apple, crowed apple, I don't know what it's called. All right, so now we got the ball. See, we got the ball. And so now I've got to draw something. All right, so here we go. Watch this. I'm going to do this. I just thought of this pain. Hey, if you just joined me, thank you for jumping on Roodoodles Live at 8:57. Why is it 8:57? Because it's 3 minutes before 9. It's simple as that. I'm painting on 140-pound paper. It's not 100% rag cotton. It's just it's a mild, inexpensive paper, watercolor paper. It's got a pretty good tooth, which is that fiber, that feel that you get. It's I like it very much. I like it. I think it's fluid paper. Fluid being, let me show you what it looks like. Let's see, there's 2 different kinds. This one's 100% rag cotton, fluid 100. If it has 100 on it right here, it's how they label their cotton. 100% cotton, that's what it is, 100% cotton. See, if you look long enough, you'll get it. This is the mild form. It's called fluid. It just says cold press. They're both cold press. This one's made out of rag cotton, or 100% cotton. This one is not cotton, not 100% cotton, has cotton in it. And both of these are easy blocks. I use that paper a lot. This is stuff we'll talk about again in Roo Basics. I use this paper all the time. It's Kilimanjaro. It's from Cheap Joe's. It's 10 by 5.5. This would have been a great size paper for this painting I'm working on. 5.5 by, actually this is 10.5 by 5, 5.5 by 10. It's easy for me to say this morning. And so Kilimanjaro is some of my favorite paper. I do use some, every now and then I will use Fabriano paper from Italy. And now I've got this new 4, 5, 8, 6 sheets, I guess, of paper inside this little packet that Ricky Govar sent to me. And I want to know some history on it before I get into the paint world. and paint a little bit. Some of it is handmade. Most of it's all handmade. It's just really beautiful. And so am I going to practice before I paint on it? You bet I am. I'm going to draw something that I really want to deal with and draw. I think dun, 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 dun. You know how you know when classical songs end, right? They all go, all right, yum, yum. It's like, okay, we got to let people know there's not a movement following this one. We have to finish it. Yum, yum. I love that. I'm still impressed that strings can make that sound. It just fascinates me. First time I went to a symphony and I sat down in that room and I heard this. I went, oh, where did that come from? Where did that come from? There's a big brush. Okay, little tiny brush. That's one of my little travel brushes. It's American Journey #4, but look at that thing. It's that short handle. Fits right inside my coat pocket or in my bug out bag really nice. An upside down pear. Canvas watercolors need to be varnished, Jane says. Jane, that's fine. Except I don't varnish anything. It makes me think I'm an oil painter and I don't like the smell. So what I might do on a canvas sometimes is I might just coat it with a clear spray, Daft spray, you know, and be done with it. But you got to be careful because that will cause the watercolor to paint to run too. I find after they sit in the sun for a day or dry in a hot place, watercolor, they're going to do just fine, okay? But cutest little grasshopper. Thank you. Tiny grasshopper on a big raspberry. There you go. Grasshopper on a bowling ball. I hope we didn't lose rank. Gene. I don't know what that means, but I think we don't comment as much as the top fan badge drops off. I don't know what that means. Horse apples. Yes, that's what I was trying to think of. Hedge apple or Osage orange. There we go. That's what it is. Thank you so much. Crab apples, Osage orange. Yep, a ball of grasshoppers. June Jones has heard of all the snakes. All right. Have you ever seen how high a chicken can jump? Yes, it's amazing. Chickens are pretty funny. If you hang something food-wise above them, they'll get to it. Hey, I'm going to drop a little orange in here just to give these chickens a little bit of this. And I'm also going to just put a little grass stain on their legs because they've been playing here. And so let's put a little sky in this painting just for fun. And I noticed there was a little bit of, I didn't clean my brush out really well. Come on, clean it out. Little water up here. Just dance a little water on. This is where you let the water dance. It's called water dance. And then just throw some color in there. And it looks like I probably touched the royal amethyst, which is my purple, with the with my ultramarine blue, which is fine. A little purple in the sky, nothing wrong with that. I love it. Maybe it's a afternoon or a morning play. Okay, so there we go right there. And then I'm going to let this dry and I'm going to put a caption on there in just a second. I'm going to let you wait a minute. I just thought of a caption that I think is going to be great for this, okay? What I'm doing now is you want to, like a dandelion, I'm putting just some parts and pieces that are coming in here. Maybe one of these grasshoppers losing their head a little bit right here. And so up here where I touch that, there's just some pieces flying off the ball. Can you see that? Okay. Now come in here and I'll do a little detail. There's an eye right there. There's an eye right there. I wanted an eye there. And there's an eye right there. I'll just put a little spot in. So, okay. So I got that. All right. So I'm going to set that aside just for a second and let you just wait for a minute till I put the caption on there. So here's what you do in storytelling. Here's where storytelling and art come together. One, I was a storyteller long before. I learned that I could maybe learn how to sketch and paint. Okay, painting has just come in the last dozen years of my life. Before that, it was storytelling. So to just make things up that are embellished and pulled out. And so today, looking at that paper, or yesterday, and then this morning early, that paper that Ricky sent me, there were about 4 words on the back written in Dutch, I assume, close to the German language, it looked like. And so for me, I could have probably looked it up, but I didn't have time, and I didn't take time. And so I just thought, I'll just ask if she's on the show. And so there she is, and boom, she's there. And so I basically made 2 of the words reminded me of the word grasshopper. And so then I painted a grasshopper. And I thought how fun it is to just paint bugs sometimes, which I've been doing for a long time. I've got some bugs. And then bugs and my roosters go together because roosters and chickens, all chickens love bugs. And so that's how I got into that. And so I connected the 2, and I thought, how do they connect? Well, you're probably going to eat them. But that's a short-lived life for the bugs. So what if we gave the bugs a little extra life? And what if it gave the chickens some more enjoyment? So I got into a grasshopper ball, and then that made me think of the painting. And then I started on a painting for you guys. So there it is. That's the rest of the story. All right, so I'm just going to grab a little brush here. In fact, I'll just use this. I'll just use a little something here. Let me see if I can find something to use. Here's a little number 4, Cheap Joe's Art stuff. This is not interlock nylon. So now that this paint has dried on here a little bit, look what happens now. I can go in here and just add the little color. See that? It doesn't get washed out anymore. So I primed. I could have gessoed these. Look, I could have done 1,000 things. I could have gessoed them all. I could have gotten the coating to rub on there, make it work. I could have pulled in a little different paint. I could use an acrylic paint. I didn't want to use acrylic paint. I'm not an acrylic painter. I don't like the way acrylic runs. So that's neither here nor there. That's just my personal style. So I chose to just do it with watercolor, thinking, dang, that would be fun. And I've done a couple of these in the past. They hold up pretty well. I painted grasshoppers on them, but I painted roosters on them. Or little coffee things. See, I did a coffee one. That's what gave me the idea last night. There it is right there. See that one right there? That's a little canvas. It's just a little sign that says coffee. You put it on a push pin like this. Kapunk. It hangs on your wall just like that. Ting. All right, I'll throw it in the auction pile. There it is over there. Put my push pin back. I got holes in the wall over here where I just push notes in for friends I'm keeping up with, and also paintings. And I got a couple of brushes hanging up here too. I got this Yasutoma brush that's called the JB 110, and then I also have the JB. What is this one, man? I love this brush. Oh, don't run over it with my chair, please. Okay, here it is right here. I hang these on push pins just to let them dry. This was called the JB 900. Man, it is fabulous. These 2 brushes I love them on a big painting. It's just remarkable what they do. Wait a minute. Now I'm running over something else. I'm running over my bug out bag. It's on the ground too. Okay. All right. So there we go. So there's a start of that. Now I'm going to come in with a Pentel pen and just go back to my pen. And I'm going to put this in here where it ran together. Watch this. Now I'm going to come down and I'm going to put the little designs in the grasshopper, do some detail on him. Go back and put that detail in. And I've got his saddle coming down right here. There's his head. Here's his saddle. It's coming in like this. A little bit of a... There's his pear shape. Now the music's changed on me. It's a little squirrely right now. Wow, when I put the detail in, look at this grasshopper that I've got here. Let's put a little earth below him here. I feel the earth move under my feet. All right, so there's a little grasshopper on canvas. Let's go fishing. Root. All right, let's splatter that a little bit. What the heck? Let's do something really funky. Let's get some orange green and just a little splatter in there. Perfect. All right, there we go. So, grasshoppers all finé. See that? Didn't take long. So, what's going to happen? That's going to dry completely. And someone says, yep, we should put varnish on that. The reason I don't put varnish a lot of times is because varnish, even though it says it's clear, will tend to make everything go a little darker. But a Daft clear spray, actually out of a can, will do that. Everybody has their own style. Never change your style if it's your style, okay? Unless you just feel like you want to recreate yourself, which you can do from time to time. But people want to find what they do. This is why I never tell somebody, oh, don't use that. You'll never hear me say in Roo Basics, in the class coming up, if you want to sign up for this 5-week course in basics, watercolor, here's the kind of paper I use, here's the kind of pens I use, here's the kind of brushes I use, here's how I sketch, here's what I put in journals, here's what I draw, here's what I keep up with. If you're interested in that at all, this class might be fun for you. We're going to talk about doing journals again. This, of course, is my French journal. That is just one page. It's 11 feet long, but it's all my drawings. I think you can see in my picture up there, the picture, it's all just one page, but it's all my sketches from that day. This is what I use this for, to keep up with my life, to tell stories and to grace people's walls and make them smile. We'll talk about travel journals. We'll talk about simple stuff. And you'll never hear me say, oh, don't do that. Because if it works for you, do it. You'll never hear me say, you should do this. No, I'll say, you know, what might be a good idea if you tried. Big difference in how that's done. How could a guy like me, who has not been to art school, be condescending about how I teach art? No, I'm trying to teach art to bring hope, light, and love to your life, so you just pass it out to other people. Have fun with it. If you're not enjoying it, then take up golf. And then after about a week, you'll come back to art. I laid this out on the desk this morning because I found it in the box when I was cleaning up. And it's made by Legion. It's made by Stonehenge Aquapress. It's 140-pound paper, but it's black. You don't see a lot of paper, black watercolor paper. Maybe that's why they made it so huge. So if you're going to paint on black watercolor paper, you might need a white pen. And so what if we just did this? There we go, a fishing hook or a fish hook. But if it's a fish hook, you fish with it, so it's a fishing hook. And then maybe some... And you know what? This pen has a little bit of a skip to it on this paper, and I love that. I'm just not trying to make them all. And the reason I love it so much is because, here's why, right here. Let me come in just a little bit and let you see this a little closer. Nope, didn't focus yet. That's kind of focused. That's pretty hard to focus on. Let me see if it'll focus on my pen right there. That's tough. Okay, it's a little focused, but you can see. The reason I like the little skips is because they look feathery. They look like little loose pieces. And then I'm just going to come in here. And also, this pen could probably be cleaned up some, and it probably won't skip as much. There it goes. And then maybe start some tails off this way. And I'd like it for you to skip again, pen. Thank you very much. There it goes right there. Just some little feathers coming out. And oh, I like that. And maybe a couple that go down this way. And then here's a few little pieces that just kind of go front and back. Kind of looks like a fish skeleton a little bit, doesn't it? Wow, that's looking pretty cool. Now watch what I'm going to do to this on this black paper. I bet I haven't done 6 paintings on black paper in my life. Oh, I am so sorry. Whatever I rolled over here. Oh, it wasn't anything but a piece of art. Okay. Okay, I'm going to finish the caption on that other one and go back and finish this, but I want to show you one thing as I come back in right there. Let me get it to focus one more time on that, and I'll hide it. Look at this. I can come in now with my brush, and let's say we wanted to make the body of this a little bit of yellow in here. Look, I can just come right on top of that white and really get a boost of yellow out of there. And now this yellow is going to do what it did on the canvas. It's going to sink in a little bit. It's going to come out. It's going to I want a little piece of red in that tail right here. Might have to change brushes. I'm using a huge brush to do this with, but I kind of like it. Okay, there's a little piece right there. All right, so there's a little fishing fly. Bingo. Now I'm going to let that dry, and I'll come back and do some pen in there. That might be fun. All right, so let me finish the caption on this because it's time for me to go. I can't believe how the hour shot this morning. Soccer. How do you spell soccer? S-O-C-C. I don't even know how to spell soccer. Sucker. Love this sucker when you get to eat the ball. Roodoodles. Let's put a little splatter in the sky. Need a pen or a pencil here or something. Hey, listen, I don't think I'm on line tomorrow. I think I am, I know I'm in Asheville, but I think if it's not pouring down rain, you will not see me. I'm going there to finish up a major video shoot that my son and I have been working on. And we've got to do some fill-in spots. And so we are watching the weather closely. It looks like tomorrow or Tuesday, yes, is going to be a day that we get partly cloudy, some sun in the sky. And we've got to finish up a major project that we're on for this wonderful camp near Asheville. So I'm going to be gone tomorrow. Don't look for me. If I have time, I will post and say hello in the morning. That shouldn't stop you from finding your paint, finding your desk, and sitting down for at least 20 minutes. 8, 5, 7 equals 20. Sit down. Thanks for visiting the show today. Thanks for loving it. Here's what I'd really like to say. If you'd be interested in Roo Basics, just a simple class, simple ideas, simple connections of story, and simple tools, that's really what it's going to be for 5 weeks. We're going to work, and I'm going to move a little slower than I move in this. We're going to set about and say, hey, draw this. Now paint that. Now move with this. You can go to roodoodles.com and sign up. 5 weeks. Total price for the whole thing is $48.57. Just do the math. And it doesn't work exactly at all, but it works for me. Okay, so have fun. Thanks for signing up, and you've probably got a good 8 days, 10 days to sign up, maybe 6 for sure. And it starts on the 19th, and it runs into June. It's on Wednesdays. Yes, the class will be up for a month, so if you can't view it live that morning, it'll stay there so you can get back to it, get your supplies together. If you already have supplies, don't buy supplies. If you need supplies, there's a link on the page that shows you what I'm doing. I'm using a basic, simple, you know what? This morning I only painted out of 4 colors. And so sometimes we have all these other colors that just take up space, but we'll start with red, yellow, blue. So any red, yellow, blue you have will work. We'll throw in a turquoise, maybe we'll throw in a light green. We'll throw in a brown. So there's 6 colors on my palette and a gray sometimes, but that's kind of what I do. You can find that out by looking at the link. There's also a link to Cheap Joe's that'll show you the colors that I actually use. So thank you for being a part of the show. And I am blessed. Let's see, I was going to give this away. So what I'm going to do, this is a Mother's Day painting right here that says Happy Mother's Day. I will pick a name off of the lineup and send you a note that says, hey, send me an email, and this will be your painting. It can be trimmed out and probably framed at 5 by 7-ish, maybe 6 by 8-ish, some ish. There's always an ish on my paintings. Bingo. This would go right in a 5 by 7, pretty easy. So I'll give that away this morning. Thanks for being on the show. I'm grateful. Thanks for sharing my show. Thanks for sharing my page. And if you're interested in the class, sign up. I'm going to keep painting on Monday, Tuesdays, and Saturdays, Lord willing. But on Wednesdays, I'll be teaching a class on the private site. So that's how it goes. And I'll talk to you about the auction. We'll do an auction because I've got to clear off all these, and I hate to just frame them all and put them up in my house. That ain't going to happen. All right. So love the grasshoppers today. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. I'm out of here. Will not be here tomorrow, I do not think. Okay, I think I'm pretty much gone. So get up and paint anyway. Right now, take a sip of tea or coffee. Think of a couple people. Wow. Someone I need to send a note to right now. Just thought of who that is. And so off and running. See you later. Blessings to you.